Yo, yo. We in here early morning. I probably shouldn't even be on here so early, but I'm gonna run this and see how it goes. We here early morning, and y'all see the title, okay? The ICE operation does not have to be our problem for it to be wrong. And I'm primarily talking to my black community here because the way we've been talking about this shit, the way we've been talking about immigration, the way we've been talking about ICE, and especially the way we've been talking about what's happened in Minneapolis and the past couple of people that have perished. The way we've been talking about that has been despicable to me. And it's, I don't know. It's sad to me to see people who've been victimized in this country by the powers that be for so long. We know what injustice looks like, and we know what an unjustified, you know, taking of life looks like. We know what it looks like when jackboot thugs going around and abusing their power looks like. We know what an occupation looks like. We know what it looks like when they're mobilizing against us, and we know that it's wrong when it happens to us, and then when it happens to other people, because we want to try to keep score, we say, well, it's not our problem. And I say it doesn't have to be. Like, our parents told this to us. I know my parents did. They said right is right and wrong is wrong. And I understand that a lot of the times when we were going through our shit and we were having issues in this country and we were fighting against the system, we didn't have backup. We didn't have anybody helping us out and advocating for us. I mean, we had a few people from other groups, but on the whole, they said, let them niggas figure it out. But we knew that that was wrong when that was happening then. We persevere. We're just strong people in that way. We persevere through stuff like that. But we knew that it was wrong. We knew that it would have been easier and it would have been better if people just used their better judgment and their morality to say, this is wrong. I'm going to stand with you guys on this. You know, even during slavery, like we of course the slaver is bad. Of course the master is bad for owning people and abusing them and treating them that way. But we knew the people that were related to the owner was bad too. We knew that them standing by and just being there and not saying anything and not doing anything and saying, well, that's their problem. We knew that that was wrong too. The slave master's wife might not have been the one doing the whipping and the beating and the abuse. They might have said, well, they might not have even liked it. They might have protested against it and said, you don't have to do that so hard. You don't have to treat them that bad. But the fact that they stood by and didn't protest the idea of them owning people, period, we knew that that was wrong too. And I venture to say, if you feel like this is not your problem and we don't have to be protesting with people about ICE, I understand. I understand if people decide to, prioritize themselves in this climate. I get it. but we don't have to vocalize that it's not our problem because it almost makes it sound like it's okay. Yeah, I know you're not saying that, but that's what it sounds like. And I think a lot of the political discourse that we're having is because people are having opinions about not having opinions. And that not having an opinion is an opinion. When you say that it's not your problem, that's not a neutral term. What you're saying is, well, I know it's bad, but I don't really care if it's happening to these guys. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's what that's saying. I'm gonna see. Let me see what Audrey has to say here. I want to know what I'm reaching about. Hey, yo, Audrey, you hear me?
Uh-huh, yeah, thanks for having me up.
All right. So let me know what I'm reaching on, man. Tell me.
Oh, first off, 33, she, her, just TikTok, want to make
I
sure we're
got
abiding
you.
by TOS. Yeah, so you made a comparative analysis to the unfortunate times back in the Confederacy, specifically in the South. I'm not sure how there's a correlation with this, or even like
I explained the correlation already. I literally lined
I
out
know I
like.
heard you, but I don't
Mhm.
see it. So when I'm
Yeah, you. How can you not see it when I literally laid it out? Like I know it's not the same exact thing. Let me do this because I hate when motherfuckers come in here when you're making a comparison and they say, "Well, that's not the same as this." Of course, it's not the same as that. I'm not saying this is the same as slavery. Do you think that was the point I was making?
No, no, my that wasn't my point at all. But
Mm-hmm.
here's what I see. Okay, I'm just going to give you my take on this situation. We do have a bunch of illegal immigrants in the United States, right? Whether or not you like to admit that or not, this is a problem. It's not exactly a new
Mm-hmm.
problem either. It's not unique to the Trump administration. It was a problem back in Obama's time and in Biden's time as well. And in Obama's time, he actually deported a fair amount of people. The reason why
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing such a high amount of tension, particularly in Minnesota currently, is because the federal government and the state government there is not cooperating with ICE. Right? They're telling police to not interfere with it. The government
Mm-hmm.
officials, specifically Jacob Frey, who's the mayor of Minneapolis, along with Tim Walz, who is obviously the governor of Minnesota, have been openly encouraging people to attend these protests and to, have their say. Not like there's anything wrong with the First Amendment, but the way that people are doing this is in a way that is putting their lives at risk. And we know it is because,
It's putting their lives at risk to protest.
yeah, like in just the last month, we saw a woman use a
Explain that. How
car.
are they putting their lives at risk by protesting?
Yeah, we saw a woman follow ICE around with her car and then proceed to charge at an ICE agent with that very car and get pew-pewed. And
Oh,
just
you're talking about Renee Good,
Yeah,
right?
and just the other day we saw a
Uh,
man bring a firearm which he was licensed to have, sure, but the Second Amendment isn't limitless, right? Come to a quote unquote peaceful protest and push an ICE agent and resist arrest,
and
right?
push it. So that you're literally gonna just repeat back to me what the DHS said about what happened there when we all seen the video and we seen that
Well, we've
that
seen
didn't happen that way.
we've seen some video. I'd still like to see it
No, we've
be.
seen like multiple angles of the exact
Okay,
same
what do
thing
you
happen.
think
This is
happened to
yeah,
Alex Preddy? Go
yeah.
ahead.
We're not doing this, bro. I'm not arguing with people about how reality happened. We all watch the same fucking videos. Yes, you got booted. I'm not debating with people on how reality happened. We This is the problem, bro. Like we can't even agree on how reality happened. We all watch the same exact video, and we're all for whatever reason having different political opinions on this gives you a different view on how reality happened. She's gonna tell me that he charged at them with a gun, and what were they supposed to do? That is not how that shit happened at all. That is not how that shit happened. The fact that you came up here trying to make a case that somehow he deserved it, I could argue with you about the Renee Good thing because she was in the car. The car did move. He had a way to say, "Well, I thought I was gonna get hit." Uh, that's I thought that I was in fear for my life, so I had to do something. I don't think that's how that happened, but there's a debate to be had there. There's no debate to be had about Alex Brady. If you're debating that somehow Alex Brady bought this on himself, this is a deeper problem than I thought it was. You know, there's no way. And I venture to say to you people that are coming up here and speaking in your politics voice because you want to be a talking head or you think that you're versed in politics. Understand, I would be careful to be in public on the main stage pro- promoting the idea it's okay for state agents to kill people. And I'm going to just start using these words. I would be careful to do that. I know you people don't like them for protesting ICE. You think that it's ridiculous that they're protesting against ICE and that ICE is doing the right thing and that ICE is doing what they're supposed to do. And this is what you voted for. I understand that uh, that's how you feel about the situation. That does not lead to, and that means ICE can start killing people. Sorry, especially in the ways that it's been happening in these situations, especially not for Alex Pretty. Especially not for Alex Pretty. If there's any example of a completely senseless killing, it's that one. There was no reason they should have shot at that guy. They shot at that dude like 15 times almost. Are y'all gonna continue to dick suck each other in the comment section? That's cool. I get it, but like uh there's no defending that shit. 10. Oh wow, 10 is so much better. I mean, I really counted like 12, but 15, 10, 12. Uh, the fact that they're double digits is a problem, Audrey. Yeah, it wasn't 10, so you don't know the particulars. But anyway, the the problem I'm having is that because I wasn't even here to talk about that part of it. It wasn't 10. It was more than 10. It was like 12. But the problem I'm having with the issue with the ICE occupation isn't about Alex Pretty and Renee Good. I'm not even talking about that. What I'm talking about is my people, my black people, when it comes to this ICE occupation in Minneapolis. They're saying, well, I don't care what's going on. And that's their problem. They need to deal with that. And I say the same thing to them as I say to the rest of you when I would be careful to be out on TV and to be in public and be public facing and telling people, okay, if you're gonna dick suck in the comment section, you could just go somewhere else. But but yeah, I would be careful to be in out in the world promoting the idea that it's okay to kill people, and I would be careful to say that this isn't our problem. I don't have to say anything about it. I don't have to give a damn about it because we know what has happened with our people in this country. You know, we know what it looks like when forces are being used against us. We know when people are creating propaganda to demonize and dehumanize us and to make us look like the villain and the victim at the same time. We know when we're getting brutally murdered and then they come behind and tell a completely different story that make you look like you were the bad guy and you're not here to defend yourself because you're dead. We know what that looks like. We know what it looks like when people have created an idea of your group and what your people are like and how evil and bad they are. and how whatever happens to them, well, it's their own fault because of how evil and bad they are. We know what that looks like, you know? And I would be careful to be out in public and on TV trying to hold water for these people. Trying to say, well, I guess they doing what they got to do. Just let them do their job. When the job that they're doing is oppressive. And saying that you don't care because they don't have anything to do with you when it's happening to them, we know it's not right when it's happening to us. And what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. Look, and we don't have to get on the front line. Oh shit, is that a galaxy? Holy shit, I don't think I've ever gotten that before. Shout out to Solid. Shout out to you, bro. God damn, I don't think I ever seen that before. Holy shit. Real nigga. I don't know how you feel about that word, but I'm gonna call you a real nigga. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like it takes no effort on our part as black people to say that this is wrong. Like you don't have to get on the front line. You don't have to go out and protest. You don't have to do anything. Like you could just shut up about the whole thing. If you don't, how your mom says, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Like telling people that it's not your problem is not you expressing that you have no opinion. Your non-opinion on this is an opinion, right? You saying, I don't, that don't have anything to do with this. That's their problem. That shows how you view this type of injustice being done. In like it's in a small way showing that it's wrong and you just don't care because it's not happening to you. You're far right, cuz hold up, are you? Never mind. Fred's still here? Oh, never mind. Fred left. But yeah, this is something that is very simple to me. You voted for illegals to be deported, bro. Like, so what's happening here is people are getting killed by ICE, and people are saying, "Well, that's good as long as they're getting the illegals out." Like, kind of think a little deeper about what you're saying here. Like, I get it. Y'all don't like brown people. We want to get rid of all the brown people. Y'all found a way to promote your idea that brown people are bad in a way that's socially acceptable by talking about calling them illegals. But I don't know, man. Like, I just don't like seeing our black people saying this isn't our problem. We shouldn't care. Let them deal with it. That's spooky to me. You know what? I'm gonna let my bro run. What's going on, man?
What's happening, Slim? Just real quick,
Yeah.
to the little fascist down there. You don't think that eventually it's gonna circle around to you? You think you're safe from this? You don't think in some kind of way implementing an ethno state or a Christo nationalist state is gonna harm you? It's gonna circle back around on you.
Yep.
All the jobs you don't want to do are going to be the jobs you have to do. All of the harm, listen, you take away one person's right for the sake of advancing your in-group, right? That means we no longer have to respect people's rights. And now look what happens. Now they don't have to respect your rights. So when your hair is too brown, when you got too many freckles, okay, when you don't agree with their version of Christianity, when you don't agree with their version of the nuclear family, when you want to have 2 kids instead of 75, whatever, they're gonna flip it back on you. The second it doesn't behoove them to respect what you believe in, your own people, if your regime decides that you're not worth it anymore, oops, there goes another rubber tree plant. Oops, there goes another rubber. You're doomed. You're doomed. No, it's not a slippery slope fallacy. That's how
Assalamualaikum.
fascism works. It's not a slippery slope. And look. Just because motherfuckers don't do logical fallacies, or just because let's say it was a slippery slope fallacy. History proves that slippery slope exists. It's happened all over and over and over and over again. Motherfuckers support causes that are detrimental to the rest of society for the purpose of their end group, and then they get enveloped by that same oppression. It's coming your way, and I don't know what to tell you about that. I really don't give a fuck. Because what's going to happen is you're going to weaken the country, and then some foreign entity is going to do to us what I did to Baghdad. They're gonna come and they're gonna see how weak we are as a nation, and they're gonna implant themselves, and then they're gonna impart Sharia law on you. That's gonna be fun? You're gonna enjoy that, aren't you? Some good old Sharia law.
Not the Sharia law.
You said what, Kenny?
Yeah. I said not the Sharia law. Man. They not ready for that.
They're gonna
Look,
give you
man,
some Sharia law.
all we got to do, if this is truly your view on this, that like this is not our problem, they're getting rid of the illegals and get them the fuck up out of here, and you are seeing that they're killing American citizens, they're murdering people in cold blood on video. I think the best course of action for you as an American who really loves this country and really love freedom is to shut the fuck up about this at the very least. Hold up, Fatima. Hold up, Fatima. I think what you should do at the very least is shut the fuck up about this. Like because coming out and defending it and saying, well, actually, it's good that they killed that guy because he did this and this and this. The stories will only get more and more ridiculous after this. The fact that people are actually debating about the Alex Preddy thing, like the Renee Good thing, I still think that was wrong. I still think that was murder. But like, they at least have an argument because she was in a car and the car was moving. Like, unfortunately, they could try to make an argument with that. But with Alex Preddy, bro, there literally is nothing you can say. And the fact that the mental, it's just an execution. And the mental gymnastics y'all are going through because y'all don't like that this was because let's be real, y'all wouldn't be going this hard if this person wasn't protesting ICE. If this wasn't a ICE protester, y'all would not be jumping through the hoops and doing the mental gymnastics to try to make this right.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You talking about, oh, we need to lock up illegals. Well, how come the only motherfuckers getting clapped is white folks?
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's crazy. They out here clapping people who look like Brody was an ICU nurse at the VA. What?
Yeah, man. Yeah, this like you don't have to do this, and that's kind of the point I'm getting at with that part of it. Like, if you're a conservative and you like what ICE is doing and think that ICE is cool or whatever, I guess I was gonna say that's fine. I don't think it's fine, but it's whatever. Like, you can say that, but I would be careful to be in public saying, yes, this is good. I'm glad that they did that to that American citizen. That is a thing I would avoid doing in public. I don't think that we should be normalizing this shit and making it okay. But before, because Beggar, I know you about to jump in. I want to get to On a Smile first. On a Smile, been waiting a little bit. What you got for us?
Real quick, I'm a foreigner, so I don't know if I'm allowed to talk, and it's not really the style, but I'd love to give a different perspective if possible.
I usually kick foreigners, but go ahead. I'm gonna see what you got to say.
I'll be real quick. I'm Canadian. Are you guys familiar with how Canada handles immigration?
I'm not.
Okay, so you guys have a system, from what I understand, that it's based on applying for immigration status to the U.S. based on your country of origin, You enter essentially almost like a deli ticket or a lottery system to apply legally. In Canada, we don't have any limits on what country people can come from. It's a point system. So if you have a certain level of education, if you have a certain competency in one of the official languages, and then people come over. And as well, too, once they have their permanent residency, they're not tied to a specific employer like an indentured servant. They actually have freedom to come. And the reason I'm mentioning this is Canada's had some immigration challenges because of a certain arguable education bypass that happened under the previous conservative government. But we've been doing deportations and such with none of this ICE brutality. There's no cameras and pictures of masked men taking away people that have overstayed illegally on education visas and so on and so forth. So I'm curious, why is there not possible to do fundamental reform in the American immigration system? Because Canada takes in as a
Because
proportion of its population.
we don't enforce immigration based on humane ideas. This is not actually an enforcement of immigration. This is an ethnic cleansing. This is a move towards a white ethno state.
I agree, but all I'm asking is that there are multiple developed democracies that have workable immigration systems. And they, like, for example, opposed to what the conservative fever dream is, Canada isn't letting in the world, blah, blah, blah. We actually have a formal immigration system, and it works, honest to God, quite well. You know what I mean? I'm a child of immigrants myself, but
Well, that's
it
not
works.
but what I'm saying is all of these movements are just using immigration as an excuse. Like it's not, we're not actually doing immigration. We're implementing control by the state over the citizens. That's what we're doing. We keep talking like this is really an immigration enforcement issue. It's not. It is our government telling us that they're doing immigration enforcement while executing federal violence over straight up citizens. That's
That's
all it's
fair.
about. It's about a power grab to ensure a totalitarian government under Trump's regime. That's all it is.
Can I ask you then, would you consider what I just explained about, say, a Canadian system or an English system? Would you consider that a fair compromise to allow, peaceful immigration? Just so I'm not blaming immigrants that come over to the U.S. That's a whole other topic.
There's nothing wrong with how. Well, okay, there was something wrong with how we did immigration before, right? But there's nothing wrong with protecting borders. There's nothing wrong with, keeping out the riffraff, right? But we have a system. We've been had a system. The idea that people are circumventing the system or that the system that we had was adversely affecting us or hurting our economy is simply just a manufactured lie. It's just a lie. It's just a lie. Our process is you make it over here and then you start your immigration process. While you're in that process, you're legal. If you're over, the vast majority of our undocumented immigrants have simply overstayed their visas,
Okay.
right? But we make it an issue. We've concocted this lie saying that we have a horde of people illegally making it into the country to do illegal activity. And that's why we're deploying it, right? Like the biggest one is in Minnesota. We're weaponizing some fraud that was done, right, by like a few Somali people, right? And then we
Yeah.
go, well, it's the entire Somali population, and that's why we got to go to Minnesota so we can put a stop to all. You don't put violent stops to to fraud. You don't,
Don't
right?
disagree with you.
Like,
I don't
huh?
disagree with you at all.
Yeah, no. And so that's what I'm saying. We end up in this conversation like we're actually talking about immigration. We're not actually talking about immigration. We're talking about creating a white ethno state. That's
Okay.
what we're
All
doing.
right, real quick. I want to give Fatima because I think Tigger's really going hard. So go ahead, Fatima. What you got for me? Wait, was Fatima speaking English?
Oh, Fatima is a refugee. I don't know where she's from. Fatima Miesmiak.
Can I talk now?
Hopefully not like that. but
مدار
like what? Like a
مدار
white
فرنسي
person?
لازم نساعده.
سوريا اسنيك.
فرام سوريا يا أخي من المخيم السوري.
Okay, صديقي.
You can, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to speak to you for Fatima. I'm gonna just let her hang around here.
Yeah, she's a Syrian
My turn
refugee.
yet?
All right, go ahead, Beggar. Go ahead. I know you're chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
I mean, there's so many things that you have. This whole life is a joke. You're completely wrong about absolutely everything.
Totally wrong about everything. And I just want to tell everybody how wrong they are about everything.
Well, actually,
Federal violence
Nobody
is
wants
not a
to hear
thing.
that shit, bro.
First of all,
It's
federal
not.
violence
It's
is not a
so
thing.
so the federal government never does violence on U.S. citizens?
No.
Okay, then who is Fred Hampton?
Go on and tell me.
You don't know who Fred Hampton is. Thank
he
you.
doesn't know
That's
who
all.
Fred
That's all I
Hampton
need, bro.
is. That's
That's
crazy.
all I need, Brody.
You don't know who? Do you not know who Fred Hampton is, or you're
You don't know
asking
who
just
Fred
to-
Hampton is? You're a joke.
That's crazy.
So you
bro.
won't tell me then?
Yeah, it's a person that the federal government killed.
When?
Beggar.
When? How?
Oh, my
Tell me the
Lord.
details.
Are these real questions? Or are you like being? This is rhetorical.
I'm asking you. Yeah, I'm seriously asking you. Tell me.
Look,
Tell me the details.
So I
What
would
happened?
actually
When did it
prefer.
happen?
Wait, so before we answer all your quiz questions, I actually would prefer you.
They're not
do a
quiz
little bit of-
questions. You brought it up.
Yeah, because we
And now
thought
you
we were
can't tell
talking
me
to
anything
somebody.
about
We
it.
thought,
So
Beggar,
what does that
we
say
thought we were
about you?
talking to
Us
somebody
bringing it up
local.
doesn't mean that they're not quiz questions. All right, you don't know who it is. You don't, right? You said,
And you can't tell me who it
you
is.
said federal violence doesn't
some
exist.
reason.
I gave you an example of federal violence. You didn't know about it, which proves that you shouldn't be speaking about federal
Okay,
violence.
so
Now move on to
moving
Okay,
your
let me do
since
one
you have
easier
nothing
for
to
you,
say
Beggar.
about
Let me
this.
do one that's easier for you, Beggar. What about MLK? Can we
You
talk
said
about
that,
that?
you said that people that come here
Do you
illegally
know who
come
MLK
here
is?
and they're legal
Do you
until
know
they
who
get
MLK is,
documentation.
Beggar?
Not at all how it works, actually. Not at all how it works.
Beggar. Do you know who MLK is?
Then you said what's happening in Minnesota is some fraud by
Nigga, we're not letting you move past this, okay? Do you know who MLK is? Since Fred Hampton is something we have to give you a crash course on, I'm sure you've heard of MLK before. Do you know who MLK is? Because this is another person that the federal government killed. We have evidence of this. Yeah, unmute. Because you were yapping. Like
show me the
plenty
evidence. You have a
Show
story.
you the
I'm
evidence?
totally
Okay,
willing to believe. I'm
wait.
totally willing to back you up. Show me the evidence. Tell me the story.
You have to stop talking before you get an answer to your question. So are you asking me to show you evidence that the government killed MLK? That's what you're
Yes.
asking me for?
Well, no, I know the government killed MLK. I know that for sure.
Oh, well, why would you ask me?
See, this is what I'm talking about.
This is ridiculous.
I
So
don't
can you
understand
concede? Can you at least
government
concede that? Hold up, Bigger. Can you at least concede that there is a such thing as federal violence? Since you came up here saying that, like we're being ridiculous with that.
I wouldn't call it federal violence.
What do you call it when the federal government does violence? What do you call that?
I'd call that there's much more to it. It's sort of like a deep state kind of, you know.
Is DOD federal?
Maybe.
Okay, when the National Guard fires on protesters, is that violence?
Okay, so you're just blanketing a thing like when the federal guard fires on people. What were the people doing? What were the people doing? What were the people doing?
I need you to answer the question.
Did they show up to
Is it or is it not violence when
operation?
Is it or is it not violence when the National Guard fires on protesters?
You won't let me answer.
Answer.
Did the people
That's
that
a
got
question.
shot show
Not
up
an answer.
to a legitimate
That's
law
not
enforcement operation?
So that's not an answer to the question.
That's a question.
You won't let me talk. You won't let me freaking talk.
He asked you a very direct question, and you're asking another question
Not
after
everything
that.
is a yes or no question, you fucking retard.
This is a yes or no question.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Whenever I try to ask you a question, you just mute me. Whenever I try to ask you a question,
is a sedan a four-door vehicle?
It depends. Is it driving on a street?
Well, you have to understand, if it's not three people in the vehicle, then maybe it wouldn't be considered a sedan because it has four. Like, what are we talking about here, dude? Like, serious? Like, I can't do this with these pseudo intellectuals. Okay, I'm glad he left because I got to get out of here anyway. I got to leave it a little bit. But shout out to you, Solid, man. Like, I like to see you break these people down. You're a lot more knowledgeable on this than I am. So, like, I'm glad you showed up.
It just looks that way because I run my mouth. But I appreciate you for letting me up, Brody.
For sure, for sure. You take it easy, man. All right, and shout out to you, Fatima. I hope you have good luck in whatever you got going on right now. I don't have any money to give you if that's what you're looking for. I'm broke. You went into the wrong live if you're trying to get some money. But I got to get out of here anyway. Shout out to everybody who came in here. But I'll just end it by saying, like, y'all don't have to defend this shit, man. You don't have to. Like, at the very least, you can just be quiet about what's happening here. Because you're going to be on the wrong side of history. When everything is over, when we come to the end of this, you're going to be embarrassed for being the ones out publicly, loud, proudly saying this was needed and this was good and this is what's supposed to happen. You don't want to be the person on that side of history. You don't have to defend this. GG him. You look like a troll account. I'm not letting you. I'm gonna bounce out and run this back a little bit later. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to Solid with the Galaxy. I don't even know what that means. I only been doing this a little bit, so but shout out to everybody who showed up. Y'all take care.